then we're gonna do some more music. This one's called Meet Virginia. She doesn't own a dress. Hair is always a mess. If you catch her stealing, she won't confess. She's beautiful. It's most back a day. The way that's me, but anyway, she doesn't care a thing about that hair. She thinks I'm beautiful. Meet Virginia. I can't wait to meet Virginia. Yeah. Well, she wants to be the queen, and she thinks about her scene. Pulls her hair back and she screams, I don't really want to be the queen. Daddy wrestles alligators, Mama works on carburetors, and her brother is a fine mediator for the president. And here she is again on the phone, just like me, hates to be alone. And we just like to sit at home and rip on the president. Mean Virginia, I can't wait to mean Virginia, yeah. Well, she wants to be the queen, and she thinks about her scene. Pulls her hair back and she screams, I don't really want to be the queen. And she wants to live her life, and she thinks about her life. Pulls her hair back and she screams, I don't really want to be the queen. She only drinks coffee at midnight when the moment is not right. Timing is quite unusual. See, her confidence is tragic and her intuition magic. Shape her body is unusual. Mean Virginia, I can't wait to meet Virginia, yeah. Well, she wants to be the queen, and she thinks about her scene. Pulls her hair back and she screams, I don't really want to be the queen. And she wants to live her life, and she thinks about her life. Pulls her hair back and she screams, I don't really want to be the queen. I don't really want to be the queen. I don't really want to live things.
I want to sing the song for you guys, but I want to do it a little different. So, if you know the words, I would love to hear you guys. Just tweet me, just DM me, whatever, and say I listened to it and I love it. I just want you guys to feel. So, let's groove. Oh, 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 yeah. I do what I do, no regrets. And I ain't even finished yet. Forgot about you, no amends. I can forgive, but I won't forget. 'Cause every once in a while I'll hear from the grapevine that you're still holding on, about how you were never wrong. I thought about you when I wrote this song. Come on, whoa, oh, yeah. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me or anything I do. Don't worry about me. Don't you worry about me. If it ain't about the money, then get out my way. I ain't worried about you. Don't worry about me. I ain't thinking about you. Don't worry about me. Don't you worry about me. Do not get me wrong. I love that you're talking, but what's even the point? I moved on, and I'm going on to better things. I no longer wish you hell, only wish you peace. Switched my mentality. Life is good, yeah. Life is golden, there's no reason to hold on to anything. Oh, yeah. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me or anything I do. Don't worry about me. Don't you worry about me. Yeah. If it ain't out the money, then get out my way. I ain't worried about you. Don't worry about me. I ain't thinking about you. Don't worry about me. Ha. Don't you worry about me. Yeah. Come on, hey. Oh, don't worry about me. Don't you worry about me. Oh, yeah. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me.
Double take caught my attention, lost my head, lost my direction, left me in a trance. I need more, so take a shot, let me meet you. Might find you on a shot of me too. You've never seen one like this before. Oh, I'm craving something special, craving something sweet. I'm craving something wondrous, wondering me. So go on, drive me crazy, go on, make me weak. Go on, work your magic, make my mind up for me. Hey, clarity is overrated, so don't overcomplicate this. Sit back and let life take its course. You've got me yourself.
Welcome to DentonRadio.com, powered in part by Classic of Denton. The views and opinions of the show hosts and artists are those of the show hosts and artists, and not necessarily those of the sponsors, DentonRadio.com or Discover Denton. For more information, visit the Policies and Procedures page at DentonRadio.com.
Hello guys, welcome back to the Diaries. We are so excited to be back in studio. It has been a long time coming, and I am just so excited to be here with Harry today with the Denton African American Scholarship Foundation. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, yeah. So go ahead, take a second, kind of introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, so my name is Harry Eaddy, and I'm the president of the Denton African American Scholarship Foundation. And we've been around for 36 years.
Oh, wow.
And the organization itself is a small organization. So we started out initially with about a $250 donation. And the organization itself really started with, it was part of NAACP ask, if you will. And then later on, Eugene Brock, who was a former mayor of Denton, and a number of other people from the NAACP and, with the community started started the scholarship committee. And then later it kind of separated from the NAACP because of some of the rules associated with
Yeah.
with political organizations, et cetera. So so it's been around 36 years. It's a great organization. And I can, go into a little more detail, but
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah.
For sure. So how did you end up in Denton? How did Harry end up in Denton?
So I was in Indiana. I was working at a university that I graduated from, Anderson College, and I was looking for universities to attend for my graduate work.
Oh.
And so one of my professors knew of George Christie, who was a professor at UNT, and he was a professor in the College of Finance. And so I came to Denton, liked the school, and just came, and it's
Yeah.
been a great experience since.
Wow.
So that was in the late '70s. So it was a little different. Denton was a lot different then, right? So
Yeah.
on the way here, I thought, oh my gosh, because it was late on a Sunday night,
Okay.
and very few lights from Louisville to Denton at that time. So
Yeah.
it was a little different.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's so cool. My
Yeah.
my dad grew up in the 70s here, so
Yeah.
definitely I know what Denton used to look like.
Right.
Way different than now. Razor
Right.
Ranch had cows and
Right.
all the
And
things.
also, when you came on the square back then, there was very few things happen after 4:30 in the afternoon.
Oh.
So it's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, can you tell us a little bit more about the Denton African American Scholarship Foundation?
Sure. So the organization itself has really awarded over 330 scholarships over the last 36 years.
Wow.
And we've awarded over $400,000 to black students that graduate from Denton high schools. And it's really interesting because the scholarships themselves are really important because many of the students themselves are first generation, even today, first generation college attendees.
Wow.
And so we have some students, former students, former awardees whose children now are, have qualified and have, tried to secure scholarships.
That's
So
amazing.
it's really been good. And I think that the city of Denton should be really thankful for, having an organization like this. It's been, pretty low key, as a whole, but, we have a small board of, 5 people.
Right.
And we try our best to do a lot of things for the students. So, we this year, for instance, we are looking at 31 students that have submitted applications, and we're going through that. And then in the next, actually Sunday, we'll be, going through the award ceremony. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's good.
That's so fun. So, what are some of the requirements for that these students have to abide by to be awarded the scholarship?
So we've set a pretty rigorous process for students. So they actually will go to their school counselors, and the school counselors then will give them an application packet, and then upon completion of that packet, then they answer a number of questions. There's a minimum GPA. If I'm not mistaken, it's around 3.3. So these are some of the brighter students. And so the winner last year was a young lady that had I think something like a 4.9 average.
Wow.
So she was very strong. She ended up getting overall a $100,000 scholarship from UNT.
Oh my goodness.
I believe in the audiology department. So we really support some of the best students that you can find really in DISD. And a couple students, one recently 3 years ago went to Harvard. Another student probably a year before, I think, went to MIT.
Wow.
So a lot of students do really, really well. Although our scholarship is, I think, decent for the top award winner. It's $5,000.
Oh, wow.
But, some of these students receive, several, thousands of dollars, whether it be $50,000, $100,000, because some of these schools, as you know, Harvard is, very, very expensive.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. That's so cool.
Yes. The other thing, too, is that, they go through a fairly rigorous process. We develop a rubric. So that's led by Val Morgan.
Okay.
And she has a team of 4 to 6 people. They go through interviews. They write essays. So again, it's probably as strenuous for the student as most scholarships.
Yeah.
And out of those 31 students, we may select 7, 8, 9, 10, depending on how much funds we have. Yeah.
So, what's your favorite part of the process with these kids? What is during the application process?
So, I am a first generation college graduate. And I never really thought I would attend college. So, that was kind of interesting for me. But when I first walked on campus, I saw a quote at the library, and it said, "Ignorance is the curse of God, and knowledge is the wings wherewith we fly to heaven." And so that's always stuck with me because I never really thought I would be in that position. So when the students come in and we go through the award ceremony, they have their parents, their siblings, their grandparents, sometimes their great-grandparents. So we'll have, normally, not this year, but we would have somewhere between 120 to 200 people at the award ceremony. And so some of those have maybe 8, 10 people. And it's really interesting to see some of those who are first generation college attendees with their parents, grandparents, etc. Sometimes there's a student we've had students who really don't have a family. We had a young man a couple years ago who had, I think, a 4.2 to 4.3 GPA. And he had been really living from family to family since he was 6 years old.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry, 8 years old.
Yeah.
And so to see students really happy to, fulfill a dream. In fact, we have a Dream Maker Award where, people have donated, funds for 5, 10, 20 years. Those are the things that kind of make me happy when you see the students, particularly those, because none of the students really know what the award is, the amount, and if they are, the top awardee. So that's really always also exciting to see them, get an award, and then amongst their peers, they're the best of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good.
Wow. I've always loved award ceremonies. I don't know what it is about it. It's just, being honored for your achievements and just watching others be honored for their achievements. It's just it brings such joy.
And, I agree. And the interesting thing is we've listened and the students really know who some of the top students are. So they, we've kind of heard a little chatter before and after, like we knew that person was probably going to win because we know their academic standing within the DISD. And so, we're pretty surprised that I'd say easily 50, 60% of them kind of know.
Yeah.
That 1 or 2 of these students are kind of in that running.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. But it's good. But I agree with you. It's really fun to do something like this because it has a lasting effect on them because now they're competing with other people. So
that's amazing. That's just so awesome that you guys do that. So part of every show is I always reach out to my Instagram audience and I say, what questions do you guys have for the guest? And we got a couple questions today.
Sure.
So one of the first ones is, so you guys are a part of the Denton Black Film Festival.
Yeah, so DAASF is the sponsoring organization for the film festival.
Yeah. So what has been your favorite memory with helping with that festival through the organization?
I'd say, there are many moments. DBFF is a lot different than what we thought it would be. Because initially we thought we would just screen a few films because there was not a lot of black cinema at the time DBFF started 6+ years ago. So we thought we'd screen a few films and then have a little celebration. And our tagline was entertain, educate, and inspire, which it still is.
Yes.
But I think over the years, probably the greatest moments is that sometimes grandparents bring their grandchildren, and their grandchildren get to see people like them on the screen.
Wow.
And so that is really something that, really is very touching. And many of them kind of ask me, one, are there films for kids? Do you have PG rated films, right? Which we do. And, they want to come and they want to kind of, enjoy the experience, but also get their grandchildren or even children to say, see, there's a female actor that, you might want to aspire to. Because some of them want to be filmmakers or actors, right? So that's probably been the coolest thing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I did a little film back in my day, but nothing like, your attendee or your entries or.
Well, so when I first met you, the one thing I noticed about you is that you were an artist.
Yes.
And so because of that, I wouldn't be surprised if you start doing films as well, because, really it's stories. And so, I can tell you have a bunch of stories within you. So that may be a genre that you, may want to think about, right?
Yeah.
I think filmmaking is really, I think, important. And since you do events, it's the same thing.
Yes.
You're just telling stories, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I've never put two and two together. Thanks. So the second one is describe a major setback that has actually turned out to be a setup.
So I wouldn't call it a setback. What I would say is that the first year we had about 800 attendees in a day and a half. And we didn't really know how we would do. So we averaged about 78 to 80 people per screening. And then we said, we had 13 films. And then we said, okay, so let's work on next year. Well, next year, the first year kind of set us up for the following year, which we tripled in size. So we went from 800 to almost 2,500 attendees, right? And we didn't really know what to think about it.
Right.
Because it was, 2.5 days, and we thought, okay, so what does that look like? And so we introduced the following year art, music, spoken word, and a few other things, right?
Yeah.
Which really, kind of helped us. So what we tried to do is listen. I think once you begin to tell stories, you really got to figure out who your audience is. And we were trying to figure out, because Denton does not have a large black population. And so, but one of the things that's really been interesting for us is diversity. So about 20 to 22% of our audience is not black. And so we aspire to have more and more. In fact, this year we had, my wife told me, several screenings where the audience was, the majority of the audience was not black, which was interesting, right?
Yeah.
So some of those screenings range from 200 plus people down to maybe 70 or 80, right? And so she made that observation, but also some of the attendees made that observation, which was really cool because it created this space for discussion about diversity and inclusion issues, right?
Yeah.
So that's I think that's good.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So the setup really, again, it wasn't really a bad problem, but the interesting thing was, you always want to, regardless of whether you do an event or festival, you want to know if it's relevant to people. And so that really kind of validated us by saying, oh, people kind of understand what we're trying to do, but not just the black community, right? It was really the entire community. And so we got a lot of support from the universities and, people in Dallas and Fort Worth and, and people started coming from all over the country.
Right.
Which is what we have today.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, last question is what piqued your interest in doing what you do today?
So, on two levels. One, for DAASF, it really has to do with education because my wife and I had the fortune to go to South Africa years and years ago.
Wow.
And so while we were there, I was looking at taking a job actually in South Africa, but we met a guy on the airplane, and he made a comment to me. He said, well, we had no idea what education would do for Nelson Mandela and people like him. And he said, because of that, it had an impact on the country. But, his comment really was, if we had known what we know now,
Right.
we would have never allowed them to get educated, right? Which was really, that was really, quite a profound statement, right?
Yeah.
Which really further indicated to me how important education. This has been a game changer for me. So that's really the first thing. And regarding the festival, I think the thing that we are probably most proud of is that we're more than entertainment. So that we really help people understand the entertainment value. That's important. But we want them to really get educated and then have some level of inspiration to go on and do some other things. But, several people have said that what the festival does, it allows them to have conversations they would not normally have.
Yes.
And so that to me is really important, right? And so we strive to, represent all different groups ethnically, LGBTQ issues. We talked about environmental issues, just really anything we believe that impacts our community.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, so those are the really two things that drive me, right?
I love that.
Yeah, thanks.
For sure. And so, okay, where can students apply for the scholarships?
Okay, so they can go on to dentonaasf.org, and they will find out information about how they submit, for scholarships for next year, right?
Okay.
So we've already completed it for this year, of course, but they can begin thinking about it because one of the things that we do is we actually provide small incentives for freshmen, sophomore, and juniors.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that we will provide X amount of dollars for them just to incent them to continue getting good grades, right? And so many parents are, quite taken with that because it says to them, see, you're doing this for the right reasons, right? And so although the monetary award is not very large, it does allow them to think, okay, there may be, something at the end of this rainbow because
Right.
I've seen 8, 9, 10 students receive awards, and that might be me 2 or 3 years from now. And so that's a theme that we see, and some of the young men and young women will come to me when they're a senior and say, I was here 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and now I'm getting an award.
Wow.
So they can do that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and there's contact information as well. Val Morgan, again, is the person that works with the counselors and helps them get through that process.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, so where can people donate to the organization?
So they can do that on the website. And again, if they have a problem, then they can use the phone number on the website, and they can also just email us. We take PayPal and other things as well. So, we are, it's really interesting now because a lot of nonprofit organizations are struggling, right? Yes. And we have not, we've not been probably as forceful talking about scholarships because we think that there are a number of other needs that people have. That
Right.
people are trying to figure out how to eat.
Yeah.
People are trying to figure out how where they're going to sleep.
Absolutely.
But I would say that the Scholarship Foundation really is important. We primarily receive donations, and thank Diaries for your
Thank you.
for your
Yes,
contribution
of
to
course.
us.
Yeah, education, like I've told you, just changed my life and some of the best memories I ever made. And, to give that back to another student just makes my heart sing.
Yes, and mine too, and I think it's important. So what we like to do is just let people know that none of us have full-time jobs. With the foundation, we're all volunteers. They're all volunteers with the film festival as well, and that's really how we get our contributions. We were successful about 3 years ago in establishing a small endowment.
Oh, wow.
Because some people felt like, they wanted to leave something. So they they reached out and said, hey, would you consider this? And we did. And so we started that. And, we do get endowment gifts from time to time. And that's really good. And so we think that will help us at least for the next 5-10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, with students.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, you're going to change so many kids' lives.
Well, we're hoping to, and you get to see them as adults now.
Yes.
Because they're in their 20s, 30s, even early 40s.
Wow.
And some are lawyers, doctors, scientists, business people, right?
Yeah.
And they will say, "Oh, yeah, I remember when I received that scholarship. Even if it was only $500 or $1,000, that was really confirmation to them that they need to work hard."
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So where can people connect with you?
So they can go to, again, Denton, AASF.org, or they can also come to the DBFF website, and that's DentonBFF.com. And we also have a Facebook page, Denton Black Film Festival. We're pretty active on both.
Yeah.
And in particular, if you want to know a little more about the foundation itself, you can go to that site. But if you want to find out a lot more about DBFF, then there's a lot of videos. We have a YouTube channel, just a bunch of things. If you really like, artistic endeavors.
Right.
And there's a film actually that Miss Juneteenth that dropped last Friday that we did a collaboration with the filmmaker and the distribution company, right? So we're actually, what they've done, which is really cool, with a few organizations, they're allowing us to, for people who want to buy or rent, I should say, that film, they can buy it as well. They can then contribute, they can buy it, and then part of those funds will go to the foundation, and part of those funds will go to DBFF. We're splitting it roughly 50-50 between the two organizations. Yeah, and one corporate entity called us last week, and this week really, and so we're trying to work out things with them now. So that's something we really didn't think about, but it's hopefully going to help us with a few $100s. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm just so excited to see you guys grow and to see you guys continue serving the community. And hopefully one day I can help volunteer at the Denton Black Film Festival or with the foundation. So
I'm going to hold you to that.
Oh, yes. I will happily.
Yeah, but with your creativity, you might be able to help us get to another level. So it'll be good.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's such a pleasure to speak with you today. And, especially with everything kind of going on. And, it's just a pleasure to be back in studio with everybody. So this is your first time being back? Yes. Since I think, March or April. So yeah.
Well, thank you. We feel honored then to be the first one.
Absolutely.
That you did. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
It feels good to be back in the routine of things. So yeah.
Good.
Well, that's it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, you can find myself on Facebook or Instagram. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. We want to thank our partners and sponsors who made this show possible. And now stick around for a word from all of us here at Discover Denton. Hey everybody, if you haven't checked it out yet, DentonRadio.com has soft launched a new website and brand. We'd love for you to go and check out the new look, but we also want to walk you through the new website and all the features you can see. So the main thing that we're most excited about is we have this video feed right at the top of the page that's a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week video feed of different Denton performances. Now these are past recordings that we've done here at Denton Radio. We also have some awesome recordings coming at us from Tiny Couch Productions. Thank you, Tiny Couch. If you haven't checked out Tiny Couch, you've got to go see those guys. So 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week feed, and what we're dedicated to as an organization is going forward, we're going to be trying to be inside different Denton venues as much as possible. So we're going to be going to Dan's and Rubber Gloves and Andy's and LSA and recording the shows while they're happening and putting them right here. So 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're going to have a true window into the Denton music scene. So it's going to be really, really cool. Now just beneath that, we have the This Week in Denton section. And what you can do is scroll through and see all the shows that are happening in Denton that week. and then you can listen to the different songs from the different artists that are playing those shows, and then when you click the green button underneath it, it's going to take you right to DiscoverDenton.com's calendar page for that show. So you're going to get all the info on where, what, who, how, all that good stuff, and we'll be changing this out every single week. So you're going to have a full section of all the shows that are happening and everybody that's playing where you can go listen to them and check it out. We also still have our podcasts on this page. Everything that we were doing before is still here, but all these new fun features are coming at you. More features as well to come as we get further and further into this soft launch. And whenever we can start booking shows again and everybody's kind of back to normal, we're gonna have a really awesome big launch party, and we'll get the final product out there. And we're super, super excited about it. So thank you guys so much for checking it out. Go see it all at DentonRadio.com.